Part 6 The States. Chapter 1 General. Article 152 Definition. Chapter 2 The Executive. The Governor. Article 153 Governors of States. Article 154 Executive Power of States. Article 155 Appointment of Governor. Article 156 Term of Office of Governor. Article 157 Qualifications for appointment as Governor. Article 158 Conditions of Governor's Office. Article 159 Oath or affirmation by Governor. Article 160 Discharge of the functions of the Governor in certain contingencies. Article 161 Power of Governor to grant pardons, etc., and to suspend, remit, or commute sentences, certain cases. Article 162 Extent of executive power of state. Council of Ministers. Article 163 Council of Ministers to aid and advise governor. Article 164 Other provisions as to ministers. The Advocate General for the states. Article 165 Advocate General for the states. Conduct of government business. Article 166 Conduct of business of the government of a state. Article 167 Duties of Chief Minister as respects the furnishing of information to Governor, etc. Chapter 3 The State Legislature. Article 168 Constitution of Legislature in States. Article 169 Abolition or creation of legislative councils in states. Article 170 Composition of the legislative assemblies. Article 177 Article 171 Composition of the Legislative Councils. Article 172 Duration of State Legislatures. Article 173 Qualification for membership of the State Legislature. Article 174 Seasons of the State Legislature, Prorogation and Dissolution. Article 175 Right of Governor to address and send messages to the House or Houses. Article 178, 176 Special address by the Governor. Article 177 Rights of Ministers and Advocate General as respect the Houses. Officers of the State Legislature. Article 178 The Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the Legislative Assembly. Article 179 Vacation and resignation of and removal from the offices of Speaker and Deputy Speaker. Article 180 Power of the Deputy Speaker or other person to perform the duties of the office of or to act as Speaker. Article 181 The Speaker or the Deputy Speaker not to preside while a resolution for his removal from office is under consideration. Article 182 The Chairman and Deputy Chairman of the Legislative Council. Article 183 Vacation and resignation of and removal from the offices of Chairman and Deputy Chairman. Article 184 Power of the Deputy Chairman or other person to perform the duties of the office of or to act as Chairman. Article 185 The Chairman or the Deputy Chairman not to preside while a resolution for his removal from office is under consideration. Article 186 Article 186 Salaries and allowances of the Speaker and Deputy Speaker and the Chairman and Deputy Chairman. Article 187 Secretariat of State Legislature. Conduct of business. Article 188 Oath or affirmation by members. Article 189 Voting in houses. Power of houses to act notwithstanding vacancies and quorum. Disqualification of members. Article 190 Vacation of seats. Article 191 Disqualification for membership. Article 192 Decision on question as to disqualifications of members. Article 193 Penalty for sitting and voting before making oath or affirmation under Article 188 or when not qualified or when disqualified. Article 194 Powers, privileges, etc. of the Houses of Legislatures and of the members and committees thereof. Article 195 Salaries and allowances of members. Article 196 Provisions as to introduction and passing of bills. Article 197 Restrictions on powers of Legislative Council as to bills other than money bills. Article 198, special procedure in respect of money bills. Article 199, definition of money bills. Article 200, assent to bills. Article 201, bills reserved for consideration. Article 202, Annual Financial Statement. Article 203, Procedure in Legislature with respect to estimates. Article 204, Appropriation Bills. Article 205, Supplementary, Additional or Excess Grants. Article 206, Votes on account, votes of credit and exceptional grants. Article 207, Special provisions as to financial bills. Article 208, Rules of Procedure. Article 209, Regulation by law of procedure in the legislature of the state in relation to financial business. Article 210, Language to be used in the legislature. Article 211, Restriction on discussion in the legislature. Article 212, Courts not to inquire into proceedings of the legislature. Chapter 4, Legislative power of the governor. Article 213, Power of Governor to promulgate ordinance during recess of legislature. Chapter 5, The High Courts in the States. Article 214, High Courts for States. Article 215, High Courts to be courts of record. Article 216, Constitution of High Courts. Article 217, Appointment and condition of the office of a judge of a high court. Article 218, Application of certain provisions relating to Supreme Court to high courts. Article 219, Oath or affirmation by judges of high courts. Article 220, Restriction on practice after being a permanent judge. Article 221, Salaries etc. of judges. Article 222, Transfer of a judge from one high court to another. Article 223, Appointment of acting chief justice. Article 224, Appointment of additional and acting judges. Article 224A, Appointment of retired judges at sittings of high courts. Article 225, Jurisdiction of existing high courts. Article 226, Power of high courts to issue certain writs. Article 226A, omitted. Article 227, Power of superintendence over all courts by the High Court. Article 228, Transfer of certain cases to High Court. Article 228A, omitted. Article 229, Officers and servants and the expenses of high courts. Article 230, Extension of jurisdiction of high courts to union territories. Article 231, Establishment of a common high court for two or more states. Article 232, omitted. Chapter 6, Subordinate Courts. Article 233, Appointment of district judges. Article 233A, Validation of appointments of and judgments etc. delivered by certain district judges. Article 234, Recruitment of persons other than district judges to the judicial service. Article 235, Control over subordinate courts. Article 236, Interpretations. Article 237, Application of the provisions of this chapter to certain class or classes of magistrates. Part 7, omitted. The states in Part B of the first schedule. Article 238, omitted. Part 8, the Union Territories. Article 239, Administration of Union Territories. Article 239A, Creation of local legislatures or Council of Ministers or both for certain Union Territories. Article 239AA, Special provisions with respect to Delhi. Article 239AB, Provision in case of failure of constitutional machinery. Article 239B, Power of Administrator to promulgate ordinance during recess of legislature. Article 240, Power of President to make regulation for certain union territories. Article 241, High Courts for Union Territories. Article 242, omitted. Part 9, the Panchayats. Article 243, Definitions. Article 243A, Gram Sabha. Article 243B, Constitution of Panchayats. Article 243C, composition of panchayats. Article 243D, reservation of seats. Article 243E, duration of panchayats, etc. Article 243F, disqualifications for membership. Article 243G, powers, authority and responsibilities of panchayat. Article 243H, powers to impose taxes by and funds of the panchayat. Article 243I, Constitution of Finance Commission to review financial position. Article 243J, audit of accounts of panchayats. Article 243K, elections to the panchayats. Article 243L, application to union territories. Article 243M, part not apply to certain areas. Article 243N, continuance of existing laws and panchayat. Article 243O, bar to interference by court in electoral matters. Part 9A, the municipalities. Article 243P, definitions of municipalities. Article 243Q, Constitution of Municipalities. Article 243R, composition of municipalities. Article 243S, constitution and composition of wards, committees, etc. Article 243T, reservation of seats. Article 243U, duration of municipalities, etc. Article 243V, disqualifications for membership. Article 243W, powers, authority and responsibilities of municipalities, etc. Article 243X, power to impose taxes by and funds of the municipalities. Article 243Y, Finance Commission. Article 243Z, audit of accounts of municipalities. Article 243ZA, elections to the municipalities. Article 243ZB, application to union territories. Article 243ZC, part not to apply to certain areas. Article 243ZD, committee for district planning. Article 243ZE, committee for metropolitan planning. Article 243ZF, continuance of existing laws and municipalities. Article 243ZG, bar to interference by courts in electoral matters. Part 9B, the cooperative societies. Article 243ZH, definitions. Article 243ZI, incorporation of cooperative societies. Article 243ZJ, number and term of members of a board and its office bearers. Article 243ZK, election of members of board. Article 243ZL, supersession and suspension of board and interim management. Article 243ZM, audit of accounts of cooperative societies. Article 243ZN, convening of general body meetings. Article 243ZO, right of a right of a member to get information. Article 243ZP, returns. Article 243ZQ, offences and penalties. Article 243ZR, application to multi-state cooperative societies. Article 243ZS, application to union territories. Article 243ZT, continuance of existing laws. Part 10, the scheduled and tribal areas. Article 244, administration of scheduled areas and tribal areas. Article 244A, formation of an autonomous state comprising certain tribal areas in Assam, and creation of local legislature and creation of local legislature or council of ministers or both thereof. Therefore, Part 11, relations between the union and the states. Chapter 1, legislative relation. Distribution of legislative powers. Article 245, extent of laws made by Parliament and by the legislatures of states. Article 246, subject matter of laws made by Parliament and by the legislatures of states. Article 247, power of Parliament to provide for the establishment of certain additional courts. Article 248, residuary powers of legislation. Article 249, power of Parliament to legislate with respect to matters in the state list in the national interest. Article 250, power of Parliament to legislate with respect to any matter in the state list if a proclamation of emergency is in operation. Article 251, inconsistency between laws made by Parliament under Articles 249 and 250 and laws made by the legislatures of states. Article 252, power of Parliament to legislate for two or more states by consent and adoption of such legislation by any other state. Article 253, legislation for giving effect to international agreements. Article 254, inconsistency between laws made by Parliament and laws made by the legislature of states. Article 255, recruitments as to recommendation and previous sanctions to be regarded as matters of procedure only, as the matters of procedure only. Chapter 2, administrative relation. Chapter 2, administrative relation. Article 256, obligation of states and the union. Article 257, control of the union over states in certain cases. Article 257A omitted. Article 258, power of the Union to confer powers, etc., on state in certain cases. Article 258A, power of the states to entrust functions to the Union. Article 259 omitted. Article 260, jurisdiction of the Union in relation to territories outside India. Article 261, public acts, records, and judicial proceedings. Disputes relating to waters. Article 262, adjudication of disputes relating to waters of interstate rivers or river valleys, co- coordination between states. Article 263, provisions with respect to an interstate council. Part 12, finance, property, contracts and suits. Chapter 1, finance. Article 264, interpretation. Article 265, taxes not to be imposed save by authority of law. Article 266, consolidated funds and public accounts of India and of the states. Article 267, contingency fund. Distribution of revenues between the union and the state. Article 268, duties levied by the union but collected and appropriated by the state. Article 268A omitted. Article 269, taxes levied and collected by the union but assigned to the state. Article 270, taxes levied and distributed between the union and the state. Article 271, surcharge on certain duties and taxes for purposes of the union. Article 272 omitted. Article 273, grants in lieu of export duty on jute and jute products. Article 274, prior recommendation of President required to bills affecting taxation in which states are interested. Article 275, grants from the Union to certain states. Article 276, taxes on professions, trades, calling and employments. Article 277, savings. Article 278 omitted. Article 279, calculation of net proceeds, etc. Article 280, finance commissions. Article 281, recommendations of the finance commission. Miscellaneous financial provisions. Article 282, expenditure defrayable by the union or a state out of its revenues. Article 283, custody, etc., of consolidated fund, contingency funds and monies credited to the public accounts. Article 284, custody of suitors deposits and other monies received by public servants and courts. Article 285, exemption of property of the union from state taxation. Article 260, Article 286, restrictions as to imposition of tax on the sale or purchase of goods. Article 287, exemption from taxes on electricity. Article 288, exemption from taxation by states in respect of water or electricity in certain cases. Article 289, exemption of property and income of a state from union taxation. Article 290, adjustment in respect of certain expenses and pensions. Article 290A, annual payment to certain Devasome funds. Article 291 omitted. Chapter 1, Chapter 2. Chapter 2, borrowing. Article 292, borrowing by the Government of India. Article 293, borrowing by states. Chapter 3, property, contracts, rights, liabilities, obligations and suits. Article 294, succession to property, assets, rights, liabilities and obligations in certain cases. Article 295, succession to property, assets, rights, liabilities and obligation in other cases. Article 296, property acquiring by escheat or lapse or as bona vacantia. Article 297, things of value within territorial waters or continental shelf and resources of the exclusive economic zone to vest in the union. Article 298, power to carry on trade, etc. Article 299, contracts. Article 300, suits and proceedings. Chapter 4, right to property. Article 300A, person not to be deprived of property save by authority of law. Part 13, trade, commerce and intercourse within the territory of India. Article 301, freedom of trade, commerce and intercourse. Article 302, power of parliament to impose restrictions on trade, commerce and intercourse. Article 303, restrictions on the legislative powers of the union and of the states with regard to trade and commerce. Article 304, restrictions on trade, commerce and intercourse among states. Article 305, a saving of existing laws and laws providing for state monopolies. Article 306 omitted. Article 307, appointment of authority for carrying out the purposes of Articles 301 to 304. Part 14, service under the union and the states. Service under the union and the states. Part 14, Chapter 1, services. Article 308, interpretation. Article 309, recruitment and condition of service of persons serving the union or a state. Article 310, tenure of office of persons serving the union or a state. Article 311, dismissal, removal or reduction in rank of persons employed in civil capacities under the union or a state. Article 312, all India services. Article 312A, power of parliament to vary or revoke condition of service of officers of certain services. Article 313, transitional provisions. Article 314 omitted. Chapter 2, Public Service Commission. Article 315, Public Service Commissions for the Union and for the states. Article 316, appointment and term of office of members. Article 317, removal and suspension of a member of a Public Service Commission. Article 318, power to make regulation as to condition of service of members and staff of the commission. Article 319, prohibition as to the holding of offices by members of commission on ceasing to be such members. Article 320, functions of public service commissions. Article 321, power to extend functions of public service commission. Article 322, expenses of public service commission. Article 323, reports of public service commission. Part 14A, Tribunals. Part 14A, Tribunals. Article 323A, Administrative Tribunals. Article 323B, Tribunals for other matters. Part 15, Elections. Article 324, Superintendent's direction and control of election to be vested in an election commission. Article 325, no person to be ineligible for inclusion in or to claim to be included in a special electoral roll on grounds of religion, race, caste, or cess. Article 326, elections to the House of the People and to the legislative assemblies of states to be on the basis of adult suffrage. Article 327, power of Parliament to make provision with respect to elections to legislatures. Article 328, power of legislature of a state to make provision with respect to elections to such legislature. Article 329, bar to interference by court in electoral matters. Article 329A omitted. Part 16. Part 16, special provisions relating to certain classes. Article 330, reservation of seats for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in the House of the People. In the House of the People. Article 331, representation of the Anglo-Indian community in the House of the People. Article 332, reservation of seats for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in the Legislative Assembly of the states. Article 333, representation of the Anglo-Indian community in the legislative assemblies of the states. Article 334, reservation of seats and special representation to cease after certain period. Article 335, claims of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes to services and posts. Article 336, special provision for Anglo-Indian community in certain services. Article 337, special provision with respect to educational grants for the benefits of Anglo-Indian community. Article 338, National Commission for Scheduled Caste. Article 338A, National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. Article 338B, National Commission for Backward Classes. Article 339, control of the Union over the administration of scheduled areas and the welfare of scheduled tribes. Article 340, appointment of a commission to investigate the condition of backward classes. Article 341, scheduled caste. Article 342, scheduled tribes. Article 342A, Article 342A, socially and educationally backward classes. Part 17, official language. Chapter 1, language of the Union. Article 343, official language of the Union. Article 344, Commission and Committee of Parliament on official languages. Chapter 2, regional languages. Article 345, official language or languages of a state. Article 346, official language or communication between one state and another or between a state and the union. Article 347, special provisions relating to language spoken by a section of the population of a state. Chapter 3, language of the Supreme Court, High Courts, etc. Article 348, language to be used in the Supreme Court and in the High Courts and for acts, bills, etc. Article 349, special procedure for enactment of certain laws relating to language. Chapter 4, special Directives. Article 350, language to be used in representations for redress of grievances. Article 350A, facilities for instruction in mother tongue at primary stage. Article 350B, special officer for linguistic minorities. Article 351, directive for development of the Hindi language. Part 18, emergency provisions. Article 352, proclamation of emergency. Article 353, effect of proclamation of emergency. Article 354, application of provisions relating to distribution of revenues while a proclamation of emergency is in operation. Article 355, duty of the union to protect states against external aggression and internal disturbance. Article 356, provision in case of failure of constitutional machinery in states. Article 357, exercise of legislative powers under proclamation issued under Article 356. Article 358, suspension of provisions of Article 19 during emergencies. Article 359, suspension of the enforcement of the rights conferred by Part 3 during emergencies. Article 359A omitted. Article 360, provisions as to financial emergency. Part 19, miscellaneous. Article 361, protection of president and governors and Raj Pramukhs. Article 361A, protection of publication of proceedings of parliament and state legislature. Article 361B, disqualification for appointments on remunerative political post. Article 362 omitted. Article 363, bar to interference by courts in disputes arising out of certain treaties, agreements, etc. Article 363A, recognition granted to rurals of Indian states to seize and privy purses to be abolished. Article 364, special provisions as to major ports and aerodromes. Article 365, effect of failure to comply with or to give effect to direction given by the Union. Article 366, definition. Article 367, interpretation. Part 20, amendment of the Constitution. Article 368, power of Parliament to amend the Constitution and procedure thereof. Part 21, Part 21, temporary, transitional and special provisions. Article 369, temporary power to Parliament to make laws with respect to certain matters in the state list as if they were matters in the concurrent list. Article 370, temporary provisions with respect to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Article 371, special provision with respect to the states of Maharashtra and Gujarat. Article 371A, special provision with respect to the state of Nagaland. Article 371B, special provision with respect to the state of Assam. Article 371C, special provision with respect to the state of Manipur. Article 371D, special provisions with respect to the state of Andhra Pradesh or the state of Telangana. Article 371E, establishment of central universities in Andhra Pradesh. Article 371F, special provisions with respect to the state of Sikkim. Article 371G, special provision with respect to the state of Mizoram. Article 371H, special provision with respect to the state of Arunachal Pradesh. Article 371I, special provision with respect to the state of Goa. Article 371J, special provision with respect to the state of Karnataka. Article 372, continuance in force of existing laws and their adaptation. Article 372A, power of the president to adapt laws. Article 373, power of president to make order in respect of persons under preventive detention in certain cases. Article 374, provision as to judges of the federal court and proceedings pending in federal court or before his majesty in council. Article 375, courts, authorities and officers to continue to function subject to the provisions of the constitution. Article 376, provisions as to judges of high courts. Article 377, provisions as to comptroller and auditor general of India. Article 378, provisions as to public service commission. Article 378A, special provision as to duration of Andhra Pradesh legislative assembly. Article 379 to 391 omitted, totally omitted. Article 379 to article 391, totally all the articles omitted. Next, article 392, power of the president to remove difficulties. Part 22, short title, commencement, authoritative text in Hindi and repeals. Article 393, short title. Article 394, commencement. Article 394A, authoritative text in the Hindi language. Article 395, repeals. Schedules. First schedule, 1. The states. Second, the union territories. Second schedule, Part A, provision as to the president and the governors of the states. Part B, omitted. Part C, provision as to the speaker and the deputy speaker of the House of the People and the chairman and the deputy chairman of the Council of States and the speaker and the deputy speaker of the Legislative Assembly and the chairman and the deputy chairman of the Legislative Council of the state. Part D, provision as to the judges of the Supreme Court and of the High Courts. Part E, provisions as to the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Third schedule, forms of oaths and affirmations. Fourth schedule, allocation of seats in the Council of States. Fifth schedule, provisions as to the administration and control of scheduled areas and scheduled tribes. Part A, general. Part B, administration and control of scheduled areas and scheduled tribes. Part C, scheduled areas. Part D, amendment of the schedule. Sixth schedule, provision as to the administration of tribal areas in the states of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. Seventh schedule, list 1, union list, list 2nd, state list, list 3rd, concurrent list. Eighth schedule, languages. Ninth schedule, validation of certain acts to regulation. 10th schedule, provisions as to disqualification on ground of defection. 11th schedule, powers, authorities and responsibilities of panchayats. 12th schedule, powers, authorities and responsibility of municipalities, etc. Appendix 1, the Constitution application to Jammu and Kashmir Order 2019. Appendix, extracts from the Constitution, 44th Amendment Act 1978. Appendix 3rd, the Constitution 88th Amendment Act 2003. Appendix, the Constitution 100th Amendment Act 2015.